for the doctor. And that way we can see where you all are. And Chelsea is joining. Great. We're having everybody put in the chat, if you don't mind, just where you work. Great. And how long you may have been in our business. 11 years, Kelly. All right. We got New Jersey here. Sweet. 3.5 years, 3 years. Fabulous. 15 years. Yakima. James, you're almost caught up with me. I'm 17 years, I think, right around there in February as a vision therapist. Sweet. 7 years. New Hampshire. Excellent. Thank you. Well, we'll go ahead and get rolling here. This will be recorded as well, and you'll be getting a recording of that later within an email. And I will invite you to chime in during this presentation. If you have a question about something that we are talking about in that moment, if you have any other questions, if you could hold them till the end for Q&A, that would be great. And meanwhile, you'll have your mics muted. Feel free to raise your hand or put something in the chat. Jen's going to help me monitor that if I don't see it, because I'm not really great at looking at the chat all the time. So a little bit about me, because you've told me a little bit about you in the chat. I have been a vision therapist at Hope Clinic in Bellevue, Washington for almost 17 years. And prior to that, I was, thank you, James. I was a school teacher in California and a director of a couple of private learning centers, Sylvan and another one called the Reading Game. So I've worked with patients and students of all ages. I think my academic background has helped me a lot in thinking about vision therapy. And I like to give credit to Dr. Carl Hillier, OD, who at a presentation years ago kind of allowed me to give myself permission to fold in some academics into vision therapy, which is what we have here today. We have some academics that are in this program, which is just wonderful. Again, stop me if there's anything that you want to ask, just unmic yourself and, or mic yourself rather, and unmic for the time being. I work with lots of TBIs. We work in, some of them are hybrid situations where they have trouble getting to the clinic all the time. So they may come in to the clinic for some sessions and then telemedicine for the others. And I've used our visual brain we at Hope Clinic have used our visual brain with all of the patients that are able to use a computer. And I've even helped a couple people learn to navigate a computer so that we could use our visual brain, because that way we can really see what their progress is and monitor it rather than just having them tell us, yeah, I did the Brock string 3 times. We really know what they're doing with the program and are able to change the levels and change the games also. And I'm calling them games. You may or may not want to do that, but I'm going to tell you a little bit how Jennifer and I met. We met at it was actually the Puyallup Fair at the time, the state fair year in Washington. And Hope Clinic had a table, and she had a table. She was had created phonics programs and pre-reading and reading programs with manipulatives, hands-on materials at the time. And we were both interested in each other's stuff. So we got into a conversation, and she thought that her teenager, who was 17 at the time, might need vision therapy based on some of the things that were going on in his school life. And so he was checked out by Hope Clinic, and sure enough, he had CI. And we got him started with vision therapy, and he just wasn't into the homework. We were using another program at the time, and it wasn't fun for him. He just didn't want to participate in it. And, therefore we weren't getting the good progress that we wanted to see. So we kind of gave up. I mean, that's what Jennifer and her son decided to do because it just wasn't going well. He was very resistant. Of course, that's true of a lot of teenagers in general anyway, but that really got Jennifer interested in the idea of creating gamified vision therapy, which why not? And I've since heard and seen on VTODs on Facebook that other people are thinking that this is a good way to go to really, make vision therapy fun when we can. So we're going to show you a lot of different things today about the program. Some of you have already been introduced to it. Others of you may have not have been, but this will be just a brief introduction. We're not going to get into a lot about monitoring, their programs or, creating individualized programs for individual patients on this call, but you'll have the opportunity. I did put already in the top of the chat a link where you can go to a calendar and sign up for a half-hour session with me to talk about that, since I've been in our visual brain since the beginning. And I've really helped Jennifer. I will say that with vision therapists, she has since welcomed many vision therapists, all vision therapists and doctors, to give her ideas of what to incorporate in the program. But it really did start with the genesis of me asking her to make certain things, and she's done it with aplomb. So we'll just jump right into taking a look at our visual brain, and I will share my screen here. Let's see. Entire screen. And there we go. Can you see Activity Explorer, Jen?
Yes.
Beautiful. And I'm going to get rid of this box. Okay.
And clear your filter.
Clear my filter. There we go. Thank you. That was from yesterday when I was looking at this. Excellent. So now you have a full Activity Explorer here, and you can see over here on the left, we've got several things in this blue box to show you today, but Activity Explorer has about 170 digital activities in it, as well as other things. But I don't want you to be intimidated by that if you're new to our visual brain, because we at Hope Clinic have found our visual brain to be very intuitive. It really only takes a couple of clicks to get going. And Jennifer has created, along with other doctors and vision therapists, some clinic playlists, which we really won't get into today, but there are ways to really start without even, individualizing a program. But here we've got a place where we can search for an individual activity. We've got categories here with subcategories underneath, and I'm just going to give you a very brief look at that. And with letter and word, there are reading activities here and pre-reading activities. Information processing is the biggest one, and there's so much in here. It's fabulous. Okay. I want to show you that we've got supported modalities up here. So everything that can be MFBF or red-green is. So we've got that for us. We've got the red-green. So if we filter that way, we can see everything that's red-green. We can see everything that's full color. And then we have configurable options here. Voice recognition is really wonderful for some of those activities where you definitely don't want the patient looking away from the screen, for example, invergence activities. So all they have to say, for example, if a target is up, down, right, or left, they just say those words and the computer hears it and answers for them that way. We've got reduced stimulus activities, which is fabulous for traumatic brain injury patients that can't deal with a lot of color or stimulus on the screen. And that's also good for other people that just are distracted by a lot of what's going on the screen or have visual ground issues. Dyslexic format was created by a specialist who informed Jennifer of a good font to use and good color for that. And so we've got that going on. And then we have processing speed. So that's really helpful for people who need to really be going slow or going fast. And then I'll just give you a really quick visual because it's kind of fun. I mean, when you look at all these activities here, you can just get an idea of how dynamic you can make your vision therapy for anyone, really, adults, children, anyone, again, who can use a computer. And then, of course, if people have a touch screen, then they're able to respond that way. So here it is in all of its glory. I love so
Now,
many.
touch screens are not required. You can also use a mouse.
Correct. I'm using a mouse right now. I don't even have a touch screen. So sorry if that bothered your eyes going up. I know it would some of my patients. Worksheet Explorer. I want to talk about that a little bit because there are 250 plus worksheets in here. A lot of these came originally from what Jennifer had created with her Fat Cats program, her phonics and reading program, when I first met her. And then since then, she's got so many activities that, this is great for adults as well as kids, but there are a lot of adult activities in here, and I won't scroll all the way down. That's a lot of worksheets. And again, they are, filtered by category. So Video Explorer, there are 4 professional series in the Video Explorer. So I'm going to show you these. We've got Kids in Motion, and Kids in Motion is for balance and for building core strength. And Jennifer's daughter has helped her create these videos. That's who you see. That's the adult in these videos. So those are wonderful and really nice for adults and kids to be involved in a kids vision therapy program together. OVB Coach, we created to demonstrate and reinforce activities that we've taught patients in the clinic. And there are some others in here. So the ones that have me also have my vision therapist, Chelsea. So if you teach Marsden Ball number 3 and they forget what to do, they can this can be added to their program and they can be able to review that and what they need to do. And then we've got the Primitive Reflex Library, and Patty Andrich, who's COVT and also an OT, as well as a certified primitive reflex coach, has, oops, I need to get rid of that and that. And now you can see Patty's primitive reflex activities here. Okay. And then last but not least, we've got We Move. And We Move, again, involves the family using your body without a screen and getting the family involved in these kinds of activities. All right. I was just looking at ladder jump last night. It looked really fun. I'll just show you this really briefly. You won't be able to hear it, but you can see just a little piece of it. See what she's got on the floor there. And this cute boy is able to do his ladder jump. with that. So now I'm going to show you a patient program that I created. So when you log in to our Visual Brain as a clinician, you've got a clinic dashboard, and normally you would see all my patients here, but I put the name of this test patient in here for HIPAA reasons. And when I click on that patient, I can see a lot of things that I have created for this test patient. There's a cute little guy up here, an avatar that I could change. I could upgrade this patient to a home license, which would then generate an email with a link for that person to set up their program at home. And I've also got in-office play, but you can see manage playlist right here. I've created a playlist of maybe a little bit more than I would give a patient. Typically, I assign about 4 or 5 activities. And at Hope Clinic, excuse me, at Hope Clinic, we've decided we're going to stick to about 20 minutes of computer time, 3 to 5 days a week, as what we ask patients to do at home. So if I, were to give this patient this for homework, it would be a little bit shorter. But I decided that if we had time, I'd like to show you all of these different activities. What I usually like to start with is a peripheral skill activity, just to open up that periphery and really get the patients aware of doing that on a regular basis. And once they are doing that in their regular life, and I know that because of what we do in the clinic and how they're doing with it, then I will take that out of their program. But some people want to leave it in just because they like it. I've had that happen. And just on that note, getting patients to, inform you what they want to do in their program is really nice. I like to give them input when I can. And oftentimes a telemedicine session that I do with somebody is a good time to, look through the Activity Explorer and see if anything catches their eye. And if it's a kiddo that, they choose something that's not appropriate for them, I'll say, well, that's a little hard for you right now, but why don't we look at this one? And I'll suggest something else. And if they're working on accommodation, then I'll typically do that next with a flipper. And, we can change the font size, we can change the flippers and the numbers of targets and everything. Then in this program, I put tranaglyph and random dot stereograms. If I've checked and I see that they can do random dot, I will typically put them in that kind of a target for both divergence and convergence. But in this one, I wanted to show you the tranaglyph because it's really cool. The one that I chose, I really love. And then in between both of those, I put a game. And then in the end, I put some other things here. So let's take a look at this program and what the patient will see. And I can do that in the clinic with the patient if I want to by clicking in office play. And this is what they see up here. Okay, so I haven't played a lot in this program, and that's why that's their completed playlist is how many times they've done the full activities from top to bottom. Playlist streak is how many times they've done that in a row. Activities played, that's, self-explanatory, and minutes played. And then we go down, and this is what they see on their screen. I'll just mention color calibration. That's there, which you can do, or it's got pretty easy directions for the patient to do that at home. Interestingly, I have found that, and I was telling Jen this yesterday, that very few of my patients have actually had to calibrate on their home computers after I've introduced this to them in the clinic, and we know that their glasses are canceling things. It's still canceling at home. So there are only a few patients that I've had who needed the color calibration over the years. And I think that's really interesting. I'm not sure what that is, but she's chosen great colors to use that really cancel really well. So we'll just go right into one of the programs. I'll just show you. There are some worksheets and videos that are added to this program we won't have time to look at today, but all right. Look at the directions together today, but they're certainly there. Now, this star is here to help the patient focus in the middle of the screen, and it will blink if they do not focus there and see that it's blinking, and then their score will go down. So you can see how this works. Made this a red-green activity, which cancels with red-green or red-blue glasses. If the person gets interrupted by something, or has to go take a break, here we've got the letters where they left off. The star is blinking, that refocuses me, and I can go right back into the activity. And we could set this up as having minutes or trials. Here, I just want to point that out to you. And they see their score as they're going along. So if I were to go through the whole thing, we would get a score at the end, but I'm not going to do that right now because of time.
So do you want to talk a little bit about why you start with peripheral skill building?
Well, I didn't know this when I was a beginning vision therapist. Thank you for that question, Jen, or that comment. I now really understand that peripheral vision helps guide central near activities, or any activities really. I mean, it's not just that we're seeing things out here on the sides or up and down around us, but that's helping guide us to where things are in space. And it takes the stress off of the visual system for near tasks. That's something that I'd love to share with you. It's just a little demonstration that I do with a pen, if you've never seen that before, that I learned from one of the doctors in our field. But no time for that right now, but that's why I do that. So thank you, Jen. Accommodation, I'm just going to show you what I set up for this patient here. And we would have them using a flipper. Oh, you can see I've got voice control on there. I didn't realize that, but you can see how that works. So I'm using my keyboard for this activity. I made a mistake. Okay, that's what happens. All right. So I set it up to be short there, and that's my score. Okay. And I love the fact that, what we had before, we were not able to change the font. So we can change the font size on that. Traniglyphs. Oh, I haven't mentioned that you can write notes. I haven't set this up, but if I wrote a special note and saying, speed is going faster as of 10:31, or remember to use your blah, blah, blah flipper with this activity, I want to tell them something specific other than what the directions are here. I can do that, and that will be the first thing that pops up on the screen. And then they click OK. They see the directions. They can start the game. So I made this a really challenging one just to show you the capability of this one. It's the only one that we have that's moving right now. But again, if you had voice control on this one, you would, oh, I do. Okay. And it doesn't work very well when you're on a Google Meet. I mean, it's not going to work the same as when the patient is working alone. But
Work as well.
I'm sorry?
I was just saying, I agree the cancellation isn't as good when you're doing it like this, or when you're presenting.
Oh, I didn't even know that, the cancellation.
I think that's true.
Ah, all right. So if the patient has a helper, that's ideal for this activity, unless they are using voice control. That's what I was thinking of right here. So
James, did you have excuse me, Lisa, 1 second. James, did you have a comment?
So my question is this: are you just getting the depth then from the I mean, because it's rotating
from everything that is double there, which is the diamond and the star, the big central star, we'll call it. That's where you're getting the depth. You're not getting it from the suppression checks of the 4 small, we'll call them suns, out on the outside.
So the only thing that really changes in depth then is the square, because it's the only thing that's not rotating.
The square and that big star that has the rays going out from the center. You see that there's two of those also,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Okay. So, and we've got a reminder up here for the patient, a little face that says your eyes are going to go straight ahead. And they're not going to be crossing here to get these targets. So when they can no longer fuse, then we click break. That score shows up. We go over here to the green and we're getting a recovery. And there we go. So we could do this as many times as we want to before we end the session. And
I think we could also point out that we have several different target types and different background colors
we
and
sure do.
target sizes and all that kind of thing. That's all configurable.
Absolutely. I just wanted to show you the one that was moving just because it's so different. The
Yeah.
others do not move. I really love the lion face. It's really cool. That's one of my favorite ones that we use with the tranoglyphs. And then I do continue to retest people at various points in time to see if they can see the random dot stereograms. And then I'll switch them over to those kind of targets, which are also, you know, size is something that we can change there too. I love profanity and words that are deemed offensive will not be tolerated. Frenzy is one of my favorite games. Jennifer, I know, is proud of this one. I love it. I'm going to play against Lucy here and just do a really quick version of this. This is a word building game for your littles, and I chose 3 to 5 words. So it's my idea, my turn. I don't have anything here to, oh wait, yes, I do. I
This
can,
is in the dyslexic format as well.
yes, thank you. Oh, that's a word? Huh. All right. Okay, and you can see how this works. It's just super fun because you can play against the computer. There we go. Isn't this great? I love this one. Oh, there we go. That's fun. Okay, so that is Frenzy. And when a Frenzy card pops up, then it's time for both players to go as fast as they can, adding to it. I'm not going to play that anymore, even though I would love to, because it's so fun. All right. So patient is back to convergence here. I'll just show you a random dot stereogram. We've all seen these. I don't have red-green glasses on, so your mission is to find the hidden target, and got the little reminder up here of your eyes are going to be crossing, and the time is clicking down on this one. I did set this one up as time. I can barely see the bottom there, and now I can't see anymore. I'm going to guess, and I'm wrong. So it gives me a break. All right, I see that one. All right, so you get an idea of how this one works, and it's really fabulous. And I can change the size of the targets, large, medium, small, over time. And then we've got our virgins covered, and Saccades Trainer is a really great game for dealing with a moving background and some central targets. So this one, GBG, let me see if I can. Okay, I still have 100%. You see how this is working. I'm not going to really play it. I'd rather just talk about it because for patients that have motion sickness, I'll put them on this, and it's got varying speeds. I think this is speed 2 that I have it on right now, if I remember right. It can go slower and faster than this. And there are some wonderful videos in our visual brain. There's snow driving and escalator walking and a lot of others that I haven't even used yet. So, I mean, there's just a lot. I really like shopping for the adult TBIs because they do have trouble in the grocery store. Oftentimes they'll share that. And so this is helping them with that. And, you know, they get a little dizzy with it. That means it's working and they need to keep working at it. So there's different levels. I could have chosen 3 letters for them to be working on or something different. Love that one. And let's see, where's my playlist? Where am I? I'm on the wrong page, aren't I? I needed to get out of this. Okay, let's see here. No. What am I doing wrong? There it is. Okay, and then I've added in the guided reading program. And great program. You can do an automatic level or a manual level with it to have the patients read. I know when Jen did this, I had looked at a couple different reading programs that we had used in the past, and we tried to take the best of what we thought was there and create something that could test a child or an adult in the beginning with an assessment of reading 3 stories and finding out their words per minute with those stories and answering some comprehension questions, and then taking an average score of that to create their starting level for a guided reading program. But then you can also set it up to be manual. And I'll just show you a little bit of this. So if we choose rainy day fun, we could do an assessment with it. We could just read, and it's loading the story here. And I believe I've set this one to, okay, so here we've got the vocabulary words to be reviewed before we get to reading, and that's always a good idea. And then we've got our reading in kind of a moving window here. And I love the fact that it's not black on white, because a lot of people, as you know, have trouble with a white background. So we've got choices of colors for backgrounds. And I just happened to choose this one today. And it's going along at a reading speed of 150 words per minute, which is a little fast for a little person. But if I set it slower, then we wouldn't get to the end and see the comprehension questions very quickly. So I set it up pretty fast. But this is great for training people to just keep on going without looking back in the story and rereading. And of course, you know, we have line by line reading and whole story reading in this program as well. This isn't the only way for the story to be displayed. But it's really great for confidence building. You can just start wherever the patient is. I really didn't read that story, so I'm going to guess here. Sort of remember it from before. So I'm doing okay. I got an 80%. Let's see. Friends, I think. All right. Okay, got an 80% there. Not too terrible. And let's see.
Maybe I want to mention we have a lot of supporting activities for new or struggling readers working on ocular motor skills, audio-visual integration, lots of ways to practice the skills needed to be successful in reading.
Exactly. I did want to scroll down here and show you the calendar. because this is a great way for you to see how many times your patient completed a whole day of activities, because it'll show up with a green line underneath it if all of the activities are complete, a yellow line or gold line if some of the activities were complete, and then a red one if they are not completed at all on that day. So that's a really easy way. Oh yeah, I did my homework 5 times this week. Let me show you the calendar. It's got 2 times on it. How did that happen? Oh, I thought I did it 5 times. Well, now we know, okay? And then we've got some graphic ways to see results if we want to. I just happen to have accommodation clicked here, but if I clicked guided reading, we could see that that's just a starting place right there because we've only done that once. But there are a lot of ways to look at this information and to share that with families. Should I stop sharing? We would love to hear, and I can always go back to this if we need to. Can you see me now? Because I can't see anybody. Let me see if I can get back to.
We can see you.
Oh, good. Let me see if I can see you somehow down here. Where is the meeting? Well, that's okay. At least you can see me. I will find it. Maybe it's there. There it is. Yay. I found you. Okay. We would also love to hear if you are using our visual brain, or if you're just, getting into it, how you're using it, because that will add great value to this session today. And then if we have questions, we can even go a little bit beyond time if anybody wants to do that. We won't be hurt if you leave right at 9:45. I want to honor everybody's time, but feel free to chime in here, please. James has his hand raised. Can you?
I can, but it's somebody else had their hand up too, so they can go first if you want.
Okay. Hannah? All right.
I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself.
So my question is, you set up a playlist with them. Do you find yourself changing that playlist every week when they come back in the office? Or is there a way that the activities change automatically based on how well they're doing throughout the week?
Excellent question. So there are many activities. They're set up in automatic mode. So you do not have to change activities every week if you want to set up your program that way. I have a tendency to be on the more manual side, and that's just my style. And it's probably also because I've been in this for so many years. I know what I want to do with it. But for the beginners, it's really a nice feature to be able to go with automatic. And that may just work, with a lot of your patients or maybe all of your patients. But I really like the fact that I can look at this every week and see, oh, this person's gotten 90% on this for 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to talk to them about that. It's an accommodation task, let's say. I talk to them about it and they say, well, the way I'm getting 90% is I'm really leaning into the screen. And I'm going, that's not what I want you to do. Let's remember the distance. So that is something that I can do with that. But yeah, and the novelty, of course, we know is a great way to keep people engaged and interested. So I will change games as soon as I can with certain things, and of course, talking to the patient about that as well. Great question, Hannah. And James, you had something.
Yeah, so I'm getting to play around with this, and it has been great. One, I've been using it with a nonverbal boy who's used to doing computer work on his little tablet, and doing these, it just makes it is really exciting. And then I used it Tuesday on an alternating exotrope that's 5 years of age. And I was amazed because I can get behind the computer so I can watch her eyes and how we were able to get her eyes in because of how she's touching. And I took a video for you, Lisa. By the end of it, she is literally bouncing up and down. She is so excited to touch these different things. So that compliance part. And then I also had a 17-year-old girl that's kind of a diva. Anyway, she was doing it too. And by the end of it, she was like, that's kind of fun. So that's exciting to me. So I really love that you can customize these things for our therapy that I've always been, I want them to come, I want to see my patient, but I'm realizing that's not always going to happen. So
right.
I'm trying to develop this for like home therapy. And
Perfect.
I'm just thrilled. So thrilled. The only thing that I have is I tried to sign up somebody as a home person and it says completed on my part, but they say they don't have, they haven't been in.
They need to look in their spam folder because sometimes when something comes to them from our visual brain for the first time, it'll go to
Okay, so that's what they have to find. So when it says completed on mine end, doesn't mean that they've signed up. It
no,
just means
that
they
means
got the email.
right. That means
Okay.
that the email has been sent to them and
Okay.
whatever happened in that transmission happened. Yeah. So you can resend it really easily. Too.
All right. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much. I'm excited about this.
Me too. And I want
Whenever, oh, pardon me, I didn't mean to interrupt. I would just say whenever possible, if you have the parent or the adult there, you can send the email right then and there and have them sign up like with you so that you know for sure that they've done it. That seems to work well.
absolutely. James, you mentioned the word compliance. I just want to say that right from the get-go, when we started using our visual brain with patients, compliance for homework definitely went up. So, and that's really exciting. And I love how you talked about being able to stand behind and watch the patient's eyes in the clinic doing this too. How old is that little one that's nonverbal?
He is 8 and
Okay.
he's a genius. He is so smart. The other day I downloaded a text to speech app, so I would type into my computer and let my computer talk to him, and
Yeah.
then he would type into his and let his computer talk to me, and we had just the greatest time. So
Oh, that's fabulous. Yeah, you can message your patients in our visual brain as well, which is another thing that I didn't mention before. And I'm trying to remember, but just thinking nonverbal, I want to tell you all about Telepathy Tapes podcast. Check it out because watch out, James, that little guy's probably reading your mind once he gets to know you well enough. So be careful what you think. It's fascinating. Fascinating. Great.
Jean, you had a question?
Oh no, I just have so many great comments of how much we're using this with our patients. So not only like everybody else that I'm seeing on these chats, not only is it incredible to do it in office, but it's also incredible to do it at home. So it's been a game changer for this clinic, and we're starting to see more patients that are really enjoying like doing these activities. And then the greatest part about it is, like you said, Lisa, is changing it, but letting the automation do more of the challenge, which is fantastic. So I have truly enjoyed this program. I have adults on it, I have kiddos on it, and I love the integration of it. And I think one of the coolest things I got out of it, because I was very skeptical of the word one or the reading, but after you presented that, now I can go a little bit more in depth with that. So now I can start implementing that a little bit more, because I was like, after you said, hey, you can actually change manually. And I forgot about that when it came to that reading portion. So that's something I'll definitely be working on this week when it comes to certain patients, because a lot of them are coming to us for their ACT, SATs, and they're all about reading. So that was one of the things that I'm really happy about.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, and one more, sorry. I really love the videos. The videos have been a game changer because I can send those via text to our patients. All they have to do is click the link and then they open them up and they're just like, where were these like 3 years ago? So there you go.
For some reason, I haven't thought about using text.
Yeah.
As we
So
use our personal phones with patients as much as we can, but yeah, but that's sure. If you're
yeah,
coming,
we like sending the videos because they're more on their phones than they are anything else, and then they can pull it up, and then they can. It's a reminder, and just like all of you guys, it's more of that, like making sure they're doing it, and they are. So that's what
Yeah.
is the game changer for us too.
yeah, and let's face it, people are on their phones a lot these days, and they're playing games on their phones, you know? So a lot of what Jennifer has created here is, you know, they do resemble games that people already play, and yet they're vision therapy. So, you know, of course we ask them not to do the vision activities on their phones. That screen is too small. You know, ideally they'd be on you know, an average size computer or larger, but you know, it depends on the patient and what they've got and what they're willing to use. But yeah, great. I'm so excited. James has asked, anyone has set up some home therapy playlists, please reach out to me. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you and I can talk about that too, James, because I think that'll be pretty easy to do if we haven't already done that, Jen. I mean, I know we did, and it's been a while since I looked at those clinic playlists that we came up with. James, have you checked out? Is he still here or did he go? I guess he's gone.
Yeah, but we'll reach out to him.
Yeah,
So Wendy had a question.
Wendy.
Yes, I just want to say we've been using the program for at least a year and a half, and we love it. It's super, like you said, it does increase engagement. I love that there's so many games. We definitely lean into the games, and one thing I want to help our clinic do a bit better of is use the videos, use the worksheets, because there is a good variety, and there's a lot of people that go home. We tell them what to do. We might give them written instructions how to do it. Some people will take a video of their child doing it, which we encourage. But a lot of the time they're like, oh, I forgot that we were supposed to be doing it this way, or that this was important. So using your videos to reinforce what we did in the office is really, really helpful. And I also find that our patients think that we're like computer gurus, because we're like, oh yeah, we'll just create this computer game just for you based on, and they're like, you can do that?
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I was curious with the home playlist, like when you add games to somebody's playlist, they always go to the bottom of the list. Is there any way that they can go to the top of the list so that when they log in, the first things they see would be the more important things to work on? Or can you like star certain things so that they see it right away?
Well, what I can say first of all is, you know, I really do direct my patients to start at the top, and I tell them the reasons why, you know, and why the order is the way that it is. Of course, that's not always going to happen, but I don't know, Jen. I mean, there's a menu there. They can see everything they're going to need to do.
There's two things you can do. There are arrows that you can arrow up, so you can rearrange the order of the playlist.
Okay.
And you can also, we're working with a school in Arizona. They're autistic kids, and so you need to be very specific about what you want to do. And so in the version notes, you can actually say, you know, you can delineate what day you want them to play, or you can say, play me first, or, you know, you can use those version notes however you want, so that because the patient will see them in their playlist to just some further direction on what you want them to do.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize we could rearrange the list. That's super helpful.
Yeah, you do that on the left-hand side of the screen. Let me see if I can find where I was here so I can show you that. Let's see, where is it? Jen, help me out, because I'm not thinking. Do I need to go here?
You are in.
I think I need to go here on manage playlist. Yeah, these arrows will change.
You can move. Yeah, you can move them up or down in the order.
Recommendation up, and I can move peripheral down. Do you see that?
I don't think you're sharing your screen, but
Oh, yeah, sorry.
there's definitely arrows right there that will just,
Okay,
you can
thank
move them
you.
up or down.
I'll check
Yeah.
that out. And the other question is like when you take games off the
Mhm.
playlist,
Mhm.
I think there's like, is there a way to archive games so that we can see what games we've used in the past compared to what's active rather than
So
just deleting?
that is a function that we are working on. We did that and it kind of broke the it broke the website because it was too much. So we're finding a sort of a different approach. One thing you could do, it's kind of a workaround, is you could move them to the bookmark. So there's a button that just sends them over to the bookmark. So that's a way to do it. It's something that people ask for a lot. So we are working on it. It's a whole like too much data. It just pulled because it was like pulling every single patient's history. And so it just got
Yeah,
so we're finding a different way to do it. But
Okay.
that's what I would do, is I would just send them over to the bookmark so that you can see, oh yeah, I've already assigned, a rotational sync. So I don't want to do that one again.
And does the patient still see what's bookmarked?
No, the bookmark is actually a tool for you on your side. They don't see it on their playlist.
Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds like that would probably solve it for us.
Yeah, for now.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great questions and comments today. Anything else before we wrap?
Does Hannah have her hand up?
Yeah.
It was about the bookmarks. Can you expound on how you use bookmarks?
So you can use them in a couple different ways. If you are programming for a patient and you see something you like but you're not quite ready to assign it, you can bookmark it so that it's there. So you can quickly just move it from bookmarks to the playlist. Or you can use it. So if you use a clinic playlist that, let's say you created something for your TBIs, but they're not quite ready for one of the activities, you can just push it over to bookmarks and have it sit there until you're ready to put it back.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Was there another question? Was there another question?
Looks like everybody's complete.
Okay.
So feel free to sign up for a time with me in the coming days. Starting tomorrow, I have my calendar available, and then a couple other dates in the future as well. And we could talk more individually about anything that you want to. VT, I mean, it's certainly anything. But specifically our visual brain, I've got a lot of experience with it. So, and of course, Jennifer also makes herself available. She is at help@ourvisualbrain.com for emails, and she has a calendar also she's willing to go through with people to set up a time. And then you will be getting an email with a recording of this and a PowerPoint presentation that Jennifer's been working on, going into more detail about the program. Okay? Thank you so much for joining. I hope to see you again in the future. It's nice to see some, Hannah, did you have something again? No. Okay, we're good. All right.
Thank you, everybody. This has been great. We appreciate you. All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hang on. Let me stop the recording. Stop recording.